Hi there, and thank you for joining me on the show today. We have a very heavy case. I'll be talking to Leonard, whose wife is facing a 24-year prison sentence after being a victim of rape from a federal informant after she exposed sex crimes. We'll go to a video that'll give insight into the matter and then straight into the interview. Viewer discretion advised. Leonard, thanks for joining me on the program. Now, you've been through a horrendous experience. Your wife is currently incarcerated. Please explain to the viewers what led up to the arrest and exactly what you've been going through.
Everything in these inquiries has been turned against us as in evidence of the Crown brief. I've got reports saying that I was there, my car was parked at my house, my residence at 4 o'clock, where actually I was at an ATM 20 minutes away getting money out, and I still got the ATM slip there to say I was there. It was actually 3:57 I was there. I got the receipt.
The amount of corruption is completely outrageous, and when a member of the public steps forward and makes complaints and files reports of such a serious nature, it should be dealt with thoroughly in a respectful fashion, and what you've encountered is the exact opposite. And you've even sent letters as well.
We thought we were helping with the inquiries, and all of a sudden, bang! My wife gets charged. It's like it was unfathomable. I could not believe it. Could not believe it.
And now she's currently incarcerated in a correctional facility. You've been able to have access, visitation periods. How is she currently? Her state of mind?
Her state of mind. Well, obviously, any mother that's separated from her family, her children, foremost, it's devastating. It's no mother should be separated from their children in this country. She's in there for a Fixated Persons Act, and there's no such act or legislation in the Commonwealth of Australia to keep her behind bars. She doesn't belong there. Very
Orwellian to use that as a charge, a fixated person.
Yeah, I sent a letter to the Prime Minister, and obviously it goes down the chain of command, and it ended up talking to mental health, Justice Health it was, and I was putting my complaints in there and that, because she's actually been drugged by pharmaceutical out of her will, because the only thing that actually keeps her sane and away from all her seizures, like she wasn't having seizures before she was incarcerated. So since she's been incarcerated, now she's been having seizures, and she's been having seizures ever since she's been incarcerated. So, and even left unattended in solitary confinement. They're trying to break her and torture her.
It's absolutely tragic.
Cannabis has been, I call out for the Prime Minister, because I wrote him a letter and he's palmed me off. So I'm putting this out to him today to say, man up, and say, if this happened to even in your family, what would you be doing? Because this is just unreal. It should never happen to anyone.
Your wife should be applauded for having the courage to stand up and report these predators.
Absolutely, and this whole ordeal, she's so selfless that this is not about her. This is actually about the children that are getting abused. It's nothing, she'll do this again tomorrow. She's not going to stop, because there's still kids out there today getting hurt and abused, and it's got to stop.
That's right, and the deviants in the community, they need to be thoroughly investigated and put on a offenders register, and when good people step forward, they need to be taken seriously.
Well, the courts don't give you remedy, so there's no remedy in this country to common law. It's all admiralty law. So I have wrote an email out this morning to New South Wales Justice, who else was there, to the actual correctional centre, to say that my wife, Deborah Irene, that is flesh and blood, she is not a fixational person. And I have confirmed that too, because I have been putting money into her account, and now that it's going to her, that it's just officially said that I am paying for my property in jail. So I want my property back. Otherwise, I will be rendering compensation. So, but as we are, we've made up unincorporated ourselves from the government. So
very smart move.
I'm heading that way to claim my property back.
That's commendable what you're doing. Now, you've sought legal assistance. What has been the advice
Yep.
that's come from the lawyers?
Well, as the battle has gone on, we have spent over $100,000 on soliciting costs and never spent a full day in court.
That's unbelievable.
It's just been a mess. These police don't even have a proper avenue to actually charge my wife with any crime here. They don't even know what they're doing. They have no idea. Nothing's been indicted. Nothing. It's just they just keep stumbling over the hurdles all the time, and they get away with it.
And that would be
no one to stop them.
That would be taking a toll on her mental health, not having a court date set, not knowing what sort of time that she's going to be serving. That's enough to make someone frantic, and the anxiety would be extreme.
Oh, for sure, yeah, but it's got to the stage now that the court, it means nothing. Like, as soon as you walk into court, you lose these days, so it's not worth it. We're fighting this out of court now. No judge, not one judge in this country can make a ruling to say my wife should be in jail. It should be 12 peers, and that's it.
That's right. It's they use the legal system in a way that benefits them, and
that's right.
And common people, they don't get a fair hearing. The law is stacked against you both, and it's very frightening.
It is. It is. It's for any man for their wife just to be thrown away, and these animals, they strip search her, they do all the things, they just treat her like a dog, and they did with incarceration too. And in that letter I got sent, they said, her well-being has been looked after and everything like that. It's like she was put in a coma, induced coma, because she had status epilepticus, which means uncontrollable seizures. Now, for anyone to be intubated in a induced coma, it's a pretty big thing, and she got taken out of that coma, and I think it was a couple of days or a day or so after. All the days are mixing up at the moment, but she was taken out of her coma in that afternoon, and I think the next day or the day after said she was actually returned to her cell, which was in solitary confinement. So she was put in there, and she wasn't getting no daylight, no fresh air, no nothing. She was stuck in a cell. It was supposed to be the MPU, but she called it a morgue because where people they're left to die. That's the feeling she had. It's
absolute torture, and how anyone could suffer through that. It's a testament just to how brave and courageous she is. We know there's an agenda where they want to break down the family unit, and you're suffering that firsthand.
Oh, for sure. But they won't break us. This is making us stronger because we realise how strong we really are as a family unit. And to break our unit down, they have no chance to break us down. The only way they can do, they've tried to take my kids as well through Child Protection Agency as well. They're hunting me down because I'm not schooling my kids and to their agenda. My kids just need to be kids by my own. I fight this. This is my battle. I don't need. There's no one there that can help me because as my children are my cargo and my flesh and blood, which means they are my property. So no one. I've already been robbed of my property, which is my wife. They came here unlawfully, cut my locks on my gate, and robbed me of my wife, of my property. So. And they tried to do that on that same day. They tried to actually do that to my kids, my children, my two children. So I said, "You're not taking my property." So I still have them in my possession, and I will still have them in my possession. But I just have to deal with them accordingly coming up because they're trying to hunt me down at the moment.
And how about, have you had any family stepping forward and offering to help? Because I mean, this is a worst case scenario for any parent.
No, well, a lot of people don't get the deception and the, a lot of people need to just wake up And like I'm trying to wake my family up, and they choose to just be like the normal sheeples in this world, and like emus, really put their head in the sand and just keep doing what they got to do. It's all about money, and it's not about money at all.
That's right.
But as for help, we've got a lot of help through the community, through social media. There's a lot of good people out there that have helped us all along this way through this journey. And like I can't thank these people enough for just to say keep strong, and just for someone to say that to me, it's a big thing, that they keep on pushing through. Because sometimes it knocks you down when you're doing this sort of thing, and you need that little bit of help to say, you've got this, brother. You're right, and I can't thank them enough for the good people out there in Australia, in the Commonwealth of Australia, I should say.
And
so my heart goes out to them. But thank you. Yeah,
it's a good thing you went to the media and had your story broadcasted, so you can appeal to the public for help, answers, and further support, because you shouldn't be battling through this alone. What's happening right now is corruption.
It is. It's total. They are manipulating my wife, and they're draining her, not her soul, because they're making her soul stronger. Because if anyone knows my wife, that she knows how to make a bad situation good. And that's her most biggest power, and they don't understand what they've done. And even, the people that work in the correctional services, they're even looking at her. She even thanks them when they open the door for her, for crying out loud. That's the sort of person she is. She's just got a good heart. And anyone that has met her or been in contact with Deb, they know that she is just, she's an angel. At the end of the day, she's there from God pretty much as an angel to help people, especially children. That's her biggest aim, yeah.
It's heartbreaking when good people get punished, and she deserves a medal for showing the courage to name and shame these predators. And these vile people deserve to be punished at the full extent of the law.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, because there has been no investigation into these criminals. That's the whole what's going on here. There's been no investigation at all. It's total incompetent detectives at the end of the day. They're just hammering it with medications and she's not taken these out of her own will. She's been an epileptic all her life, since she was pretty much 6 months old, pretty much, when she was born. And so mainstream medication has ruined her, not ruined, but it's had a fair toll on her internal organs, being kidneys and liver and stuff. You're talking pretty heavy medication with epilepsy. Like, I'm not going to name them all, but most people out there know that they're bad medications to be taken. And at the end of the day, she's at the full extent of grand mal seizures, where she's highly medicated, and that still doesn't do anything to stop her seizures. It's just a Band-Aid to give her mainstream medicine. Cannabis is the only answer, and that's the only answer we've found. When they raided our place, they actually they robbed me of her medication too, which is her cannabis. So, where does this end? How much torture does my wife have to go through for them to understand that this is crazy? People have a right to look after and to maintain their own health, and not be indoctrinated by a government to say you can do this and you can do that. I don't beg to no one bar God. God is the only one I'll ever beg to. There's no man or woman out there that I'll be begging for any help to.
It's very sad, because it's hitting the whole family on many levels. Health, financial, mental and physical. Yeah. That's enough to break anyone, but it's a testament to just how strong you both are carrying through this horrendous pain. Now, being force medicated is an absolute nightmare, and in my opinion, it should go against the Geneva Convention to administer drugs into somebody's body against their will. It's wrong. and it's completely frightening.
Yeah, because if she doesn't take them, they'll just hotshot her. So she can't win no matter what she does. If she chooses not to take them, they go, well, we'll just hotshot you, then you'll be just passed out. So, it's absolutely just terrible.
It's barbaric.
You have no rights. It is barbaric, yeah.
And have you got any hope in future? You're trying to stay as positive as you can. I know it's hard. Do you think there's going to be any breakthroughs from the correspondence you've received?
I hope so. There should be some sense that comes through of my email that's come through today, because I've unincorporated ourselves. I've handed our marriage certificate in, our contracts, which is our marriage certificate, and our 2 birth certificates, and I've submitted my live birth certificate to say that I am man. I am the crown. I've crowned out as live birth, and that I am man, flesh and blood. So if they want to keep holding the Magna Carta's coming in, and they'll have to we'll bring in military trials, I suppose. We'll have to call in for the US Army to come in to take our country back, because we are governed by a foreign entity.
It's good you're taking your power back and you're researching the law and finding out what ground you have to stand on. Not many people would show that initiative and be motivated to do that. You're leaving no stone unturned, and for that you deserve full credit.
In these situations, there's not much you can do when you're at your weakest, and the only way you can draw strength from is from knowledge. And anyone can just sit there and take a knee and say, and beg for forgiveness from these. There's not even a name for these lowlifes. But anyway, to take it on your own back and take control of your own life is what everyone needs to do in this country, and around the whole world. And that will bring peace to this whole world, the whole earth. That's how God created us, to be free and to look after what He's created.
That's exactly right. Have you had any trouble gaining visits? I know access can be very difficult. Some family have to get on 2 or 3 phones and phone the prison. It's always engaged.
I'm lucky enough where I work out that I don't ring on the first day for bookings. I ring on the second day, and that way you get a little bit. I think everyone tries to ring on the first day to get their bookings in. So I do it on the Wednesday, and I don't seem to have too much trouble now to register to get into to visit. Yeah.
Have you taken your children out to the centre?
I do every time I go, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. My mum needs to see the kids. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not about me and her, it's about the kids, they're feeling it pretty hard. I suppose my relationship between myself and my kids has grown to a high level of, I don't think many fathers maybe have even been that high with their children, because, we all vibrate together at the moment, and we have that connection that not many people get to even have with their partners. So, but they're feeling it, and it's not easy on them. My daughter just had her 10th birthday, and being number 10, the first birthday without mum, and she's feeling it pretty hard. So, and it's my son's next month, so I'm hoping to have her out before then. So, I'm hoping to have her out by the end of the week.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating. All these special occasions and events, not having your mother there, it's very, very tragic what's happening. And, Christmas time, these occasions, it's something that you'll never be able to get over 100%. No,
you can't get it back.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And you're still waiting on further emails and letters of support. Have you looked into setting up a GoFundMe for expenses, some type of fundraising scheme?
I have got a GoFundMe up. A good friend of mine put it up for me, so Jenny Lorenz. So she helped, because I'm not too good with technology, so to speak. So you know, as I said, there's good people out there that have helped me along the way, you know, and just give me that little bit of extra support where, you know, I'm lost at stages with technology. So, yeah, there is that little bit of help, so, which is good.
Because you've been missing out on work as well. Your employment would be taking a big hit, and your finances would be coming into play.
Yeah, well, my main thing is I'm not in work at the moment because I used to work in the coal mines, and I got injured with my neck and stuff. So I'm pretty much I'm out of work with that. I've been compensation paid out and all that sort of thing too. So, but yeah, my main thing is family life right now, and giving my family the best I can give them. And like I said, money's not the objective here for me. It's the love and nurturing of your children to make them grow to be a better person than myself.
Absolutely, you know, but you got to keep a roof over your head in order to do that.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, that's one thing that I do have, and you know, that's one thing I am worried about this whole situation, that they can come and take me off my own property, you know, and they say this is mine. It's like, you know, that's my only. It's not a fear. It's a one of them battles I don't need to take on it, an extra battle I don't need. Mm-hmm. So, but like I'm rich in myself with my family and with the house. Like I own my house and my property. So, you know, I'm rich as any man could be. I don't need, the money does not worry me, you know, but obviously you need money to buy food. Mm. But yeah, I try to grow and produce all my food as I can. So
very, very smart move. Now, a lot of these mental health agencies and child agencies, they can be very persuasive too, can't they? Not helpful, very forceful with a lot of their ideas and a lot of their requests.
Well, it's a matter of knowing your own rights. It's all about, you know, as I said earlier, you know, your children, they're your property, and your wife. When you're married, you're married and you're bonded in matrimony. They robbed my wife. That's my property.
And it's very patronising when they send through letters urging you to seek counselling, when what they should do is be providing solutions. Then you wouldn't need the counselling.
Well, I've been to counselling after my injuries through work, and you know, the one of the best advices I got given was give yourself an uppercut and get on with it, you know. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, that does work a bit, you know. You know, just stop playing, you know, oh this hurts, that hurts, and playing the victim, you know what I mean? You know, there's so many people out there that just got to give themselves an uppercut and say, hey, just get on with it, because you're not everyone is a victim. So many broken people in this country, you know. Like 90% of the people in that prison should not even be in there, you know, and that's the way this system works. It's just broken, and we need to fix it. It's mainly just putting it out to the people of the Commonwealth of Australia to say, wake up. I know there's a lot of people that are awake out there, but don't fear of losing, because money is just an exchange. If you live your life around money, you'll be misery for the rest of your life. Your wealth is what you have in your possession, and that's your life.
Absolutely, very well said. Well, look, it's been a very emotional experience. I wish you the best, and hopefully there'll be resolution to these problems. We'll keep in contact, touch base if there's any breakthroughs. We'll help highlight the progress that you've been making. Thank you very much for coming on the program, Leonard.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very kindly.
Good on you,
God bless.
Well, that concludes another episode. Links to the Robinson GoFundMe account will be in the description. And you can join me next time, where you know we'll be exposing corruption yet again. Are you fed up with the propaganda and deception from mainstream media? Well, you deserve better. That's why the We Are Change talk show is here. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Australia Unite for Children's Rights event. My name's Jeff O'Toole. Have you experienced an injustice or a form of corruption? Well, phone the We Are Change talk show today.
My son has, he contracted Listeria meningitis at birth, but I believe this happened to him intentionally, that somebody actually got to him and poisoned him.
If you could look into the camera and speak to these accusers, what would you say to them?
I'd say to them to actually go and find someone real to go and chase, and to leave me alone, because I don't deserve the treatment that I'm getting from you, that's for sure. And you guys should actually be held accountable for the harassment and all the undue stress and money that you have cost me over all this time.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Like you said, I think people need to work together.
A pleasure, brother. Nice to see some voices in Australia doing this sort of thing.
It's a pleasure to be here, and certainly appreciate the platform that you've created.
Thank you for having me on. We Are Change has a great reputation, so I'm glad to be on your show. And
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it as well.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me, and just, thanks for supporting victims down there.
So don't hesitate. Phone the We Are Change talk show today. The number is on your screen.